working now? Hello. Good afternoon, or good evening, actually. Thank you for attending and delays. So today, regarding climate science and the contribution of the youth towards climate science. So yeah, I think we should start. So over the world's understanding of climate change has improved exponentially thanks to the science, technology, and the dedication of some of the world's top climate scientists. This panel discusses the young men and women who champion the science behind the climate change. I would like to introduce you to Mrs. Meselka, adaptation analyst for the National Council of Climate Change and the CDM of the Dominican Republic, working on different initiatives and for climate empowerment agenda. So, Mrs. Meselka, you can come up to the stage.
Is this on? Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, so thank you for the introduction. I'd like to greet everyone here and welcome you to this interesting panel. I'm Leon, and I know that a lot of you got here very early. So it's exciting for me to see that so many people are the topic of this panel. Normally, people are the legislation, the conversations, and the negotiations of it all, and the science information, which is crucial to decision making and well-informed decision making, that is so important. So many young people are pushing forward and being involved in this, just as the name of the panel. It's very important for us. I worked in the empowerment process last week, and there is also a lot of thirst from young voices to try with the process. But I also see from the people sitting here today that not only that you are here supporting young people, because we have teachers, we have educators, we have founders of, and we also have people in society, the articulation and the involvement of the ACE topics within their countries, but also help other countries to have more clarity when it comes to ACE processes. So again, I am very honored for the invitation and for you kindly having me here. So with that, I hope we can start the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Khan. As for our participants, we have Mrs. Haley Campbell. She's the co-executive director of Care About Climate. Mr. Uwais As-Salahi. Oh, yeah, please. Yeah. Mr. Uwais, founder of SDG Generation Network. Mrs. Mujida Ajbola. She's the Care About Climate Education Manager. Mr. Ajlan Al-Ka'bi is founder of the network. And yeah, thank you guys so much for attending and your participation. I will pass the floor for a little bit to talk a little bit to the audience about himself. And yeah, we will start with Mrs. Haley. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much everyone for coming here today and also for inviting me to be a part of this incredible panel of people. My name is Haley Campbell. I am from the United States and I am the co-executive director of Care About Climate, which is a nonprofit that empowers young people to be their best advocate and be their best self when they enter spaces like this and also other climate change decision-making spaces back at home. And we'll talk more about some of that work later, but in addition to that, I work locally on climate adaptation in Honolulu, Hawaii, and also here as a member of the Children and Youth Constituency, known as Youngo, in which I support the Action for Climate Empowerment efforts, ACE, a lot of acronyms here in the COP space. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Hello everyone, my name is Oasis Salahi. I'm a junior at Northwestern University. I study communication. I'm here on behalf of SDG Generation as the founder of a youth-led initiative educating the youth on the importance of sustainability and how the youth can have a seat at the table. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thank you Saud and thank you for having me at this panel. My name is Arushi Shah, I'm from India. I'm currently a research fellow at a nonprofit called Silver Lining. Silver Lining is focused on addressing near-term climate risks and how to mitigate them. So we work with scientists to advance scientific research on potential solutions to address these near-term climate risks.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Mujida. I am a Nigerian and I volunteer for Care About Climate as the education manager. My work at Care About Climate involves working with other aspects of the organization to develop education programs for climate science into so that they can integrate and effectively engage in climate solutions at the local levels and international levels. Thank you.
Thank you for attending, everyone. I am Adjan Al-Ka'bi, a senior at Carnegie Mellon University studying computer science. I am as well the founder of SDG Generation Network, a network that aims to amplify the voices of the youth and give them the platform to solidify achieving the national vision and achieving the UN 2030 agenda. And as well, I'm interested in the science field since I am a NASA recognized researcher as well, and I've been active in the environmental engineering field.
Oh, okay. So yeah, thank you so much for introducing yourself. Start the panel by asking you, actually, Mrs. Haley, about your climate efforts as your co-executive of the Care About to share your advocate and your activities regarding climate science, actually.
Yeah, thank you so much. Also, Miss Haley is so fancy. Yeah, I think for me at Care About Climate, it's really about empowering people with the science on things like their nationally determined contributions. For example, we lead a project there where we empower young people from their countries to learn about their country's nationally determined contribution, NDCs, which I'm hoping everyone here knows what those are, but if not, these are countries' commitments to tackling the climate crisis under the Paris Agreement in the simplest of terms. And what we believe is when you can understand what's in your NDC, you can understand how you're either represented or not, the science behind why the targets are a certain way, then you can make better recommendations for us as young people to be able to hold our governments accountable. And what's really unique and important about this is we're empowering people from their own country to do that and partnering them with people from their country to learn and grow together in understanding the science so that when they come to spaces like this or have opportunities to engage with politicians or decision makers in their communities, then they have that opportunity to have that understanding of what they're pushing for and why it matters. And so that's one way that we are integrating science into the work that we're doing at Care About Climate.
Actually, can you give it the mic? No, it's okay. Because I really like what you said, and I'm interested to know what's your feedback when you actually have been involved in this activity? Do you see that there is positive feedback from the people? And yeah, can you talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a lot of really good feedback. So we have done 50 different countries right now on this NDC equity analysis, which is absolutely incredible to have this giant database of different perspectives where you're now able to not only compare the science-backed targets of some countries, but also you're seeing things like when more young people and women are included in designing these NDCs or implementing them, a lot of times they're more ambitious, and so that's really telling to see when you have more inclusive engagement, you are more ambitious outcomes, and we see that generally, when we're trying to diversify the STEM and science field to having, more women leads to more different perspectives, and I think that's really, really important, and so also why I'm excited to see like a really good gender balance on this panel here today of amazing leaders from different genders,
Exactly.
right? So
Very
important.
diversified.
And so, yeah, in terms of the reactions to people, we were able to present this at the Middle East and North Africa Climate Week, at the Latin America Climate Week. We attempted to do some presentations as well and other regions, and we're getting a lot of really good responses from governments to their young people that are coming through with science leading them along the way to present, and they're being listened to. We're seeing some countries that are now looking towards these analyses and the people who did them and trying to ask them how they could be doing better and how they could include them more. And so it's working, it's awesome, and if you're wondering if your country's on that equity tracker, you can check out ndcequitytracker.org, and if your country's not there, we'd love to have you work on that with us in the future.
Yeah, very good. Museli, this was actually very helpful. And Mr. Ois, I really wanted to ask you a couple. So, like the community on the sustainable development, basically.
So as a communication student, I'm in the field of science, and I'm also the founder of SDG Generation, a youth-led platform. I feel that the way that my story stems comes from a place of not being heard, not having a platform to communicate with like-minded people, to communicate about sustainability, about the climate change, the environment. And that's when me and Ajlan Al-Kabi founded SDG Generation, a youth-led platform for the youth to be able to communicate and engage like-minded youth on matters such as sustainability, climate change, and answering Saud's question. I feel that communication is key to finding solutions, to bringing people together, to raising awareness. I think these are all very strong factors, and I feel that communication really stems all of these factors together and allows us to come up with great solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And as part of what is, let's say, the goal is relevant to like communication and science?
So it's actually one of my favorite goals. It's goal number 17, Partnership for Goals. And I feel that that heavily connects towards communication. If we can have a platform where we bring the youth all together, where we bring like-minded people all together, we'll have the opportunity to collaborate, to sit down, to talk about goals that we may all share. And at the end of the day, we can generate amazing solutions, collaborate with entities, governments, even like the small groups, even our neighbors, our communities. I feel like that really has an impact on sustainability.
Very good. Thank you so much. Mrs. Arun.
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. So as a research fellow, so like let's say in terms of like scientific research, what do you think is very related to you doing the like climate change and climate science, like something related to your work? What are your, so your activities basically?
Yeah, I'd love to take this opportunity to share some of my reflections from my very short journey in, working in climate science. And I think there are 3 key things that I want to focus on. One is that opportunities in climate science are not easy to find for young people. I got opportunities to get involved in climate science, and I'm an organization that really encourages youth involvement, but we need to make climate science spaces more accessible to young people because we are and going to be the ones making key decisions on climate. Second is that these opportunities are even less available in the global south. concentrated in the north, and most climate research is either funded by or researched by people in the global north. And we need young people from all to work on these issues and to really build local expertise on this so they can with that local perspective and also do the research that will impact the local communities. And science is like a fairly technical field, and I've had a very, very steep learning curve. But in order to make effective policy changes, I think it's really important to recognize that all these policies need to be grounded in and informed by science. So yeah, everyone to, you know, get involved in the science. And at Silver, a global youth initiative that educating youth on these issues, but raising awareness and kind of having and facilitating these dialogues. So yeah, if you want to get involved with that, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Mrs. Mujida, since you're an education climate, I'm really interested in the education program about climate science and how is it related, especially from the area in Africa, for example, like your review, like what do you think?
I think we've been doing some actually great work in terms of climate education, and one of the major now is our COP training course, and it was developed with the intention to help young people to be able to engage effectively at international climate negotiations such as COP. And it has two parts. The first part talks about breaking down the technical aspects of climate science and negotiations into simple terms that laymen can understand. Because you want to engage with something, you want to interact, you should understand the basics first. So that was what that was about. And the second part of the course talks about how to effectively manage yourself and take care of your welfare, while at COP we all can see it can be very overwhelming. So that's one of the things we have been doing, trying to break down complex scientific information into short-form content that people can talk about. And we've also been partnering with some other organizations to have webinars. Scientific knowledge can be quite complex. And not everybody is in the climate space. The goal is a message to people out because that's where we have the critical mass. For us to bring them in, we should bring this into, we should break it down into things that they can understand and also use the channels of communication. And that's what we are really big on right now, trying to talk, trying to reach them on Instagram. For example, right now, we have a program, which means that people who are at home from their home countries can understand what's happening at COP. Every day we have a sneak peek of events at COP, and we go live at 6 every day to talk highlights of days at COP. So those are ways we try to engage people, talk to them in technical language, because now nobody has time to read journals and papers. So that's one of the things we are doing, and we also hope to do more. In terms of the feedback, it has been really great. It has been really great. Our COP course, we are proud to say that we've got great that we even met here, and they're saying the course has really helped them. For me and some of my colleagues, that's all great for us too, because we learned on the process, and the with the learning from their perspectives as well. So it just brings us all together and lets us know that what we are doing is good, encourages us to do better. 2023, we are all to break down IPCC information, UNEP reports. We need to make sure they are available in common language. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually very great to hear from you. Well, thank you for your efforts. And
doing great, thank you.
Thank you so much. And sustainable generation.
Okay, so thank you for your question. I truly think that there is an important relationship between knowledge and sustainable development. Let's say we're not aware that we have a climate issue. Let's say we're not aware of climate change. Then none of us would be here to begin with. And this is our mission as youth leaders, to interact with the other youth members, tell them that their daily habits matter, tell them that their knowledge matters, tell them that taking the extra step to achieving sustainable development really matters. Because when especially talking to young kids, if they think, oh, if I drink let's say in this plastic water bottle, just one plastic water bottle, right? But like, if it's like 100,000 of us drinking 2 bottles every day, and then it's like our whole community is doing the same, thinking that's just them, then this is the issue. This is the issue. So that's why we should be knowledgeable that the smallest actions, the smallest changes really matter, and that comes from knowledge. And moving forward as well, SDG 4 talks about how quality education, right? Yeah. And I do see that quality education is in the core of achieving all the other sustainable development goals, and most importantly, achieving a lower sea levels in the next few years. So yeah, knowledge is a core pillar that we need to focus on, and which is most of which people in this panel that are doing, and this is our mission and initiatives and projects.
So, student, I want to know really, how does the computer science helps in achieving the sustainable development goals?
Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
So technology now is the backbone of how we are moving forward. Looking at every single aspect of our living, our transportation, our connection, every single thing is linked to technology. And every single technological device or a computer is programmed by a computer scientist. And the people who, like the engineers and the scientists who build the solar panels, hopefully they will try to amplify their efforts and build something that is more useful and stronger than the things that we already have. So as well, artificial intelligence plays a major role in predicting predicting the levels, because we don't know what's going to happen in 20 years from now. It's all algorithms and predictions and calculations, most of which are computer science problems that we actually deal with. So yeah, I do see that computer science plays a major role, which was my major interest as well. In starting my initiative, is to link our field of education, either it's communication, computer science, to achieving sustainable development. Because as members of the youth community, all of us have a mission, all of us have a goal, and all of us have a duty to achieve the sustainable development, to have a better future for the next generation.
Very good. Actually, very interesting aspect from this dialogue. And for the community, what do you think it would be something that you want to leave for the community here?
Gosh, I hope I was going to be last so I'd have time to think. No, it's okay. I think that for me what's really important is everyone here in this space remembering that it is a space, and to have access and to think about all the people who probably wish they could be here that they could not. And so I would encourage everyone to take the science that they're learning here, the knowledge that they have, the science they might be learning in school of not just what is happening on climate change, but the science of how you're empowering others and the science of communication. These are all different ways of knowing, and all of these are important. And to that end, also trying to reach out to indigenous leaders from your communities to learn about their own way of knowing and their own science. All these different things together can help all of us empower every single person so that no one is left behind when we're tackling the climate crisis from any different community. And I think that the power of knowledge and partners and science and what we're doing here, sharing, is all really integral to doing that. So take the time to learn about your community and to bring things back to them when you have the opportunity.
Thank you. My message is a message to the youth, and it's inspired from the story that allowed me to actually create this initiative with Ajlan. So my message is that as youth, we shouldn't wait for us to have a seat at the table. We shouldn't wait for someone to tell us, yeah, you can come down, you can sit here, and you can just say your opinion. I feel like that if you have a good intention and you want to contribute positively towards sustainability, towards climate change, and you're trying to make the world a better place, it's very easy for you to set up your own initiative. It's very easy for you to set up a small group, whether it be in your school, in your community, in your university, and every little helps. If all of the youth unified and wanted to spread their messages and create positive impact, I believe that that's possible. So don't wait for a seat at the table. Just create a spot for yourself. Thank you.
Those comments were amazing. Thank you. I think my message would be that youth are really the ones that can bridge the gap, I think, that currently exists between the academic community and the rest of the world in terms of communicating how bad the situation really is right now and what we need to do to change. So I think youth are the key people who can bridge that gap and get the conversation going between these two communities. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're in this room, tell you are interested in climate change. So please don't aspect all educators, and you don't have to it. Talk to somebody you know that contributes negatively to our environment. Don't wait until you become a professor of climate science. Talk to the next person about it. Also, education goes beyond what we learn in the classrooms. Long way, because a lot of people are outside the education system formally. So please talk to your friends. Do not, that you make is to make a difference. Every little thing counts. Thank you.
Just recalling on what everybody said,
Basically.
I do think that mostly as youth, in the next 15 to 20 years, we are the people who are going to suffer the consequences of climate change. We are going to be in the forefront of the blame, because the next generation are going to be, if we don't make a change, if we don't stop climate change, the next generation are going to hold us accountable for the things that we already done. So I think my main message that I would want to leave to everyone is the same thing the same idea that happens to me, that I think of every day. Try to leave the place you entered better than the way you entered it. Like, let's say I went to like a place, well, let's say I went to a day in my school and then I saw a person littering. I'll talk to them. I'll be like that. If you didn't litter that cup or that thing, it would have made such a big difference. And that little change will grow because that person would spread the message, and it's gonna spread within the society. So small changes do matter, and I'm sure most of the people on the panel can relate. We didn't get the chair on the table handed to us. We had to work for it. We had to take the small ideas that we had. We had to amplify our resources, try to make everything work, trying to get every single opportunity to make a change. So nothing is too hard. Nothing is unreachable. If us youth members of the community did it, everyone can do it. You just need to have the willingness. You just need to have the compassion for other people that might be affected from climate change, and you just need to be patient, because not the first door that you knock is going to open for you. So yeah.
Yeah, thank all of you. Actually, coming here about your subjects and passionate about your re-echo what you got from within and from every individual. So you guys, you guys are best, and I can't do more than that. So thank you guys so much. And this panel got at least, and yeah, wish you all the best. One more our panel. So yeah, thank you. Nice evening. Oh yeah, by the way, actually I don't need this. I'll ask the cameraman.
Someone gonna be there.